I am Samantha. I'm a keeper here in the carnivore department at the Houston Zoo, and I'm standing in front of the African wild dog exhibit. We have 3 boys here. They're a formed pack. It's Blaze, Aries, and Makita. Really easy way to tell them apart is Makita is kind of our poster child. He's the dog that you see on the graphics with all the black and white in his fur. Blaze and Aries look really identical. They have a lot of brown on them, but the easiest way to tell them apart is Aries has a short tail and Blaze has a long tail. Today, actually, they're going to get something really fun. They're going to get bones with meat on them in boxes. What you're going to see when we throw the boxes with the bones over is they're going to probably fight over one of them, and you'll see a little bit of their structure there where the dominant one really wants the box, but they don't actually fight it out like you might see a dog or a wolf do. They practice their dominance by being submissive, and so when you see them, they're going to tuck their heads under each other, and they're going to emit this whiny, high-pitched kind of barky squeal. And that's not it's not a sound of like, oh, I'm hurt. It's actually they're just being really dramatic. And our boys will actually do that, and people get upset. They're like, oh no, they're fighting. And I'm like, no, it's actually mostly all talk. Because one day they actually got into one of those little brawls, and I thought for sure someone was going to be hurt. I called a vet down here to take a look at them. There wasn't a scratch on them. It was all just talk. These guys are completely carnivorous. They will eat the entire animal, and in fact that really strong jaw allows them to crush through bone, so they'll actually consume the entire bone. They are not power hunters. They're not gonna lie in wait and then muscle an animal down. They'll actually run an animal down. These I call them the cross-country runners of the wild, because they can run up to about 35 miles an hour and keep that up for miles. And they will just they can run down an antelope, which is an incredible feat. And then they just kind of wait for it to tire down, and then the pack jumps on it. They have an incredible stomach capacity. These guys can eat up to a third of their body weight, which it would be like me eating a 40-pound steak. These guys are completely different from your dog at home. In fact, they are so far removed from your dogs at home, the domestic dog, that they cannot interbreed. Their feet are completely different. Your dog at home has 5 toes on their front feet, 4 toes on the back. They lack it. They have 4 toes on each foot. And their toes are actually spaced a little bit differently too. It's kind of more of a spacing like that than the wide pad spacing of a dog at home. A lot of people hear African wild dog and think feral dog, and so they have no problems trying to eradicate them or kill them because they feel that they steal their livestock, that they're attacking people, that they're spreading disease. When actually there actually are feral dogs running around Africa that do spread diseases like rabies and canine distemper, and they do affect wild dogs, but wild dogs aren't the primary cause of all these problems. They're one of the most endangered carnivores in Africa, even more so than the cheetahs. There are less than 10,000 or less than 12,000 cheetahs left in the wild. There are less than 5,000 African wild dogs. And so their plight is actually quite severe, and there's a lot of conservation groups that are working to bring up their numbers. This is the first time we've ever housed here, and oftentimes when you house a social species, the first time you start with boys, you start with a bachelor group.
For more videos, go to Comcast On Demand, click Get Local, and then Houston.